Meghan Markle just walked into a week where the headlines don't even feel like they belong in the same universe. One side reads like Hollywood business as usual, a new Netflix rom-com adaptation with Meghan and Prince Harry attached as producers. The other side reads like a media firestorm, because a commentator had to publicly apologize after repeating a viral claim about Meghan's mother. And when those two stories hit at the same time, it doesn't land like celebrity gossip. It lands like a warning sign. Because here's what people don't want to admit. Meghan doesn't just live in the spotlight. She lives inside a rumor machine. And once that machine spins up, even basic facts start getting treated like opinions. So today we're breaking down what this Netflix move really means, why the timing is so weird, and why the biggest threat to the movie might not be the script. It might be the story people have already decided to believe. At first glance, a rom-com adaptation feels like the safest possible lane. It's light. It's mainstream. It's not political. It's not preachy. It's the kind of thing people put on when they don't want to think. Rom-coms are basically comfort food. Quick setup. Familiar beats. Emotional payoff. You don't need a deep backstory to enjoy it. And for Netflix, romance is reliable. It travels globally. It doesn't require a franchise universe. It doesn't require 10 seasons. It just needs chemistry, a decent script, and a trailer that makes people click. But here's the twist. Safe projects become risky when the internet decides the producers are the real storyline. Because with Meghan, people don't wait for the trailer to judge. They judge at the announcement. Then they argue about what it really means. Then they assign motives. Then they go digging for anything that supports whatever they already feel. So the movie could be a simple romantic comedy and still become a referendum on her reputation. That's the trap. Even fiction becomes personal. Even entertainment becomes symbolic. Even a wedding date story becomes a proxy war. Now hold on to that, because the next layer is why this project matters more than people think. A lot of people hear Netflix deal and assume it means a guaranteed pipeline of projects, like unlimited budget, unlimited releases, automatic green lights. That's not how it works. Streaming platforms don't hand out wins. They rent potential. They want projects that move subscribers, dominate attention, and justify the spend. So when you hear producing, what matters is what comes next. Who's directing? Who's starring? How fast does it move? Is it quietly stalling? Or is it speeding toward production? Because in Hollywood, silence is not neutral. Silence gets interpreted as trouble. And that's why Meghan and Harry need a clean, easy-to-market scripted win. A project that can exist on its own, without being tied to real-life controversies. A rom-com is perfect for that. It's fast. It's simple. It's clickable. But the timing of this announcement makes it feel like something else is happening in the background. If you've followed their projects, you've probably noticed this pattern: big announcements, big talk, and then the two words that trigger everyone. In development. In development can mean a script is being refined and things are moving quietly. But it can also mean the project is stuck in limbo, waiting on casting, waiting on budget, waiting on an internal Netflix decision. It's not a failure, but it's not a win either. And when your public image is already polarizing, people don't treat limbo as normal. They treat it like evidence. So a scripted rom-com announcement isn't just a creative move. It's a signal. We're still in the game. We're still shipping projects. And if it moves quickly, casting announced, production scheduled, real progress, then suddenly the narrative changes. People stop saying, "What happened?" and start saying, "Okay, this is real." But then something happened this week that made everything heavier. A commentator repeated a viral claim about Meghan's mother, as if it were fact. And then the rare thing happened: a public apology, correction, a walkback. That matters. Not because it proves Meghan is perfect. Not because it proves the critics are wrong about everything. But because it proves something darker about the media ecosystem around her. People repeat what they want to be true faster than they verify what's true. A rumor is entertaining. It's easy. It spreads in seconds. And the correction? The correction arrives late and travels half as far. So even when someone apologizes publicly, the damage isn't automatically undone. Because the internet doesn't have a delete button. It has a repost button. And for Meghan, that's not just annoying. It's strategic risk. Because if people can't agree on facts about her family, imagine what they'll do with a movie announcement. They'll fill in the blanks. They'll assign motives. They'll turn the plot into commentary about her life. Which brings us to the part that always reignites the strongest emotions. The family storyline. Whenever stories resurface about Meghan's estranged father, the public doesn't treat it like a private family situation. They treat it like a morality test. And morality tests don't have neutral outcomes. One group sees boundaries. Another group sees cold distance. Another group sees manipulation. Another group sees trauma. Another group sees strategy. Everyone walks in with their conclusion already loaded. And once emotion takes over, facts become background noise. That's why Meghan's situation is different from most celebrities. For most people, a movie announcement is just entertainment news. For Meghan, it becomes a new chapter in a story people feel personally invested in. That story has been running for years. Privacy versus visibility, control versus chaos, family versus public life, royalty versus Hollywood. Because the smartest strategy in a noisy reputation war is not to argue louder. It's to stop making yourself the product. Here's the move people miss. Scripted fiction is the easiest way to step out of your own biography. Documentaries invite debate. Lifestyle content invites authenticity policing. Interviews invite gotcha moments. But fiction is safer. If a rom-com succeeds, people talk about the characters. They share quotes. They make edits. They rewatch it. They argue about the love interest. And if it fails, it's just another movie that didn't land. Not another personal argument about what Meghan meant or who Meghan blamed. That's the theory. The problem is, Meghan's name pulls people right back into the personal story anyway. Even if the film has nothing to do with her life, the commentary will try to connect dots. So now the movie has a job most rom-coms don't have. It has to be good enough to drown out the noise, not just entertain the audience. We're in an era where people react to announcements like they're finished products. Casting rumors trend before casting is even confirmed. Leaks get treated like official statements. A single photo becomes evidence of an entire storyline. That's what makes this project fragile. The internet will decide what this film represents before it exists. Some will call it a comeback. Some will call it a distraction. Some will call it proof of whatever they already believed about Netflix and the Sussexes. And once the pre-reaction locks in, the movie has to fight uphill. Because now you're not marketing a story. You're arguing with a narrative. A narrative is harder to beat than a bad review. A bad review can be ignored. A narrative spreads. A narrative becomes a shortcut for people who don't want to look deeper. And when a narrative becomes popular, it becomes profitable. That's why you'll see insiders claim headlines. Sources say videos. The real reason commentary. The machine doesn't need the truth. It needs momentum. So the biggest threat to this rom-com might not be whether it's funny. It might be whether people are willing to watch it as just entertainment. If you want to know whether this Netflix move is real momentum or just a headline, watch 3 things. Number 1, casting. If the lead is a strong, bankable name, that signals confidence. If casting stays quiet for too long, the internet will start writing its own conclusions. Number 2, tone. Is the marketing cozy and predictable, or sharp and modern? If it leans too generic, people will call it forgettable. If it leans too message-heavy, people will say it's preachy. Number 3, speed. How fast does it move from announcement to production? Fast movement looks like confidence. Slow movement invites doubt. Because with Meghan, the silence always gets filled. So the next updates won't just be industry updates. There'll be story updates, and the public will treat them like a scoreboard. So yes, Meghan and Harry producing a Netflix rom-com sounds like a soft headline. But the timing makes it feel like something else. A reset attempt in the middle of a reputation storm. Because this week showed how fast misinformation can spread, and how rare it is to see it publicly corrected. It showed how quickly people pick a story, and how hard it is to undo it once it becomes popular. And here's the final twist. The biggest threat to Meghan's Netflix future might not be ratings, or reviews, or even Hollywood politics. It might be the fact that, for millions of people, the story is already written. Before the trailer, before the cast, before the first scene. So when the trailer finally drops, it won't just be selling a film. It'll be fighting a narrative.